So, have you ever noticed how someone saying, I have a caveat instantly commands the room?
Oh, absolutely. It completely shifts the energy.
Right. But saying I have a but just makes them sound, I don't know, defensive or something.
Well, it's a completely different vibe.
It really is. So today on our deep dive into the presentation deck titled TD0039 Technical Discussions, we're looking at the hidden power dynamics of workplace language.
Because words aren't just vocabulary. They're actual tools that shape how your competence is perceived.
Exactly. We're going to unpack how high-level engineers and consultants really speak. We all know these common idioms, but we're exploring how intentionally deploying them changes the whole power structure of a meeting.
And if you think of any major technical project, before a single line of code is written or a prototype is built, you have to define the reality of the situation.
Right.
That's where the caveat comes in. The deck actually notes that it derives from Latin for beware. It's a pre-stated limitation, basically.
I always picture a caveat like the safety net in a trapeze act. You're pointing it out to everyone before you actually make the jump.
That's a great way to put it. It shows you've anticipated the risks.
But getting to the psychology of it, why does this specific word hold so much more weight than just simply saying, however?
Well, I mean, it establishes immediate control over the variables.
Mm.
Saying but feels reactionary, right? Almost like an afterthought or an apology.
Yeah, like you're covering your tracks.
Exactly. Stating a caveat frames you as the architect of the situation. You have comprehensive foresight. The deck gives this perfect example of noting that test results are promising, with the caveat that they're conducted under ideal laboratory conditions.
Oh, wow. So you deliver the win, but you proactively box in the expectations.
You've protected your credibility before anyone else can even try to poke holes in your data.
Okay, so you've set the boundaries and protected your flank. Now you enter the chaotic middle of the project, right? Where everyone is just running in different directions.
Oh, yeah. The messy part.
Think about your last big cross-functional meeting. Did you feel completely lost for the first 10 minutes? Because that's where the psychological need to get up to speed really comes in.
Right. The deck defines it as syncing with a high-speed system, but underneath, it's really about managing vulnerability.
How so?
It neutralizes the anxiety of not knowing something. In a fast-paced environment, this phrase frames your knowledge gap not as incompetence, but as a temporary mechanical lag.
Huh, that makes sense.
Yeah, look at the source application asking for 10 minutes to get up to speed on recent gearbox spec changes. You weren't asking a colleague to teach you from scratch.
Right, you're just asking to sync your internal data with the team's current velocity. It takes complete ownership.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
so the team is synced. They need to execute. Naturally, they reach for the best practice.
Now wait, I have a bone to pick with this one.
Uh-oh.
In so many corporate environments, best practice is just weaponized to shut down new ideas. Someone throws it out there and it just feels like a fancy way of saying, let's play it safe.
I mean, in marketing or design, maybe? But the deck emphasizes highly technical fields, where best practice isn't about conformity, it's about preventing catastrophic failure.
Okay, fair point.
The source explicitly notes it's considered best practice to perform a thermal analysis before finalizing gear material. Invoking that phrase doesn't mean you lack imagination. It means you respect the physics. It is the universally recognized optimal solution.
You respect the physics right up until someone breaks them, right? That's the project pivot, the game changer.
Yes, the classic game changer.
I know we throw that term around loosely whenever a new app drops, but technically, a game changer fundamentally rewrites the rules of the competitive landscape.
And psychologically, labeling something a game changer short-circuits stakeholder risk aversion.
Wait, really? How does it do that?
Well, the deck highlights a new self-lubricating alloy as a game changer for the maintenance-free robotics market. If you just call it an upgrade, stakeholders hesitate.
Because upgrades cost money.
Exactly, and they carry implementation risks. Calling it a game changer signals that the old best practices are now totally obsolete. It instantly creates a fear of missing out.
But even with that fear of missing out, you still have to deal with the human fallout of disruption, which leaves stakeholders on the fence, literally perched between two fields, uncommitted.
And naming that neutral state is a vital negotiation tactic. The deck uses the scenario of a client who is on the fence about investing in a fully automated assembly line.
Right.
By openly acknowledging their position on the fence, you remove the pressure of an immediate yes or no. It opens the door to address the underlying hesitation that's holding them back.
It's so fascinating to look at this as a complete life cycle. You define the risks with a caveat, you sync the team by getting up to speed, anchor to reality with best practices, force action with a game changer, and manage the psychological fallout when clients are on the fence.
Yeah, you're navigating the entire trajectory of a high-stakes project just by deploying the right idioms at the precise moment they're needed.
It's powerful stuff. If these 5 phrases map out the human psychology of today's technical discussions, I just wonder how the rapid integration of AI into our workflows will spawn entirely new idioms a decade from now.
Oh, definitely.
Will you soon be dialing into a meeting, asking for a moment to get your neural networks up to speed? Or maybe putting a hallucination caveat on your quarterly report? Pay attention to the language evolving around you and start using it to your advantage.